began in pieces, right? So we started with the Lab Partners in 1991, which was based on the Exploratorium and Cincinnati Museum Center and New York Hall of Science model of explainers on the floor talking to the public.
We thought, what would be better than to have some lab partners, some trained staff, young staff, that could help our experimenters.
Lab Partners was the real genesis of the Youth Science Center.
She had a really different vision for how to work with youth.
How young people can be intentionally and thoughtfully engaged in a real institution. And that it's not about, let me teach you, but let's do this together.
And so being in this environment where you had adults that were constantly interacting with you, coaching you, guiding you, giving you advice, trusting you, giving you some autonomy around the things you're working on, that was key for me.
I didn't want to make just more engineers, more scientists, more technology people. We knew we would do that.
It seems like the world needs a lot of people who respect, admire, and understand science in every field. And if kids coming through here get some kind of sense of how science and society and art and everything play together, we're going to be a stronger society.
Right from the start of the program, there was an emphasis on engaging young people from groups who were traditionally underrepresented, girls and young women, young people of color, and youth from low-income circumstances have been woefully underrepresented in STEM, both in classrooms and in careers. And this was a strategy by the museum to make an impact on that issue.
In 1996, 5 Anderson-related foundations made a combined contribution to the Kitty Anderson Youth Science Center in Kitty's honor. Kitty was a science major. She really gave back to the communities through both philanthropy as well as really wanting to give back to serve women, young women in underserved communities.
The Kitty Anderson Youth Science Center has been developed to work with girls and youth of color. I mean, just by its very being, it represents those values of equity and inclusivity.
One of the big things was kind of trying to figure out, why don't we have staff that come from the communities the young people come from? And really we had to recognize the fact that we're telling young people they can be anything that they want to be. You can do whatever you want to do in life, and we'll support you, but we're not representing that around the museum and showing you that that's actually true here. And so I, with some of the staff, had to have some really tough conversations about how can we change to make sure that we're the type of place that if we can't bring adults in here and make them feel that this is the type of space that they want to be in, then how are we going to really do that for young people? So we built stronger relationships with families. We also built some stronger alignment with a lot of the funders of the KAYSC, and got a lot of our funders excited about not just funding good programming, but being a part of community with us.
When I was involved initially, there's kind of, 1 or 2 tracks that we all were kind of going through, and I hear you're doing things that are actually, there is evolved, where it's things where students are doing things out in the community that are affecting the communities that they're working in and living in and serving, and trying to really grapple with real world challenges. And how does that connect to sciences, and how does that connect to your ability to make change and invoke change?
We started to articulate ourselves as a pathway program in place.
Design team is the first step of our pathway program. And what we do is we engage middle schoolers, 6th through 8th graders in STEM and social justice. Our job is to get them excited about the work that they already do. Middle schoolers already know about science. They just don't understand that science is more than just lab coats and chemicals and your stereotypical idea of science.
They start with us in middle school, and then they go on to a high school crew, and then they end up working for Robbie when they're post-high school or in college or post-college.
Youth come in for various reasons, and the great thing about the program is that we can meet youth where they're at. If they are science buffs and already just love science and just want to dig deeper into science, we can support them there and then start thinking about, okay, how can you use then your science to address a need in the community?
So I think that a lot of times in school settings, traditional school settings, there's more apathy among the young people. There's not as much, they're not given as much power or control or agency to have choice in their education, to be able to investigate things that matter to them.
You have a charge for oppression, you have a charge for system changes, you have a charge for whatever that is. How can you address that issue and take in these skills that we're now teaching you?
But what the KYC does is like the youth do have a voice, and like we do think about the youth and the adults don't center themselves, and I think that's really important when doing youth work. And you can see it too, like all our events, like they're organized and the adults are just there to like supervise and like help provide resources for like the things that we need.
Here are these little kids learning how to be in teams and work problems, and then giving them the platform, the opportunity to be leaders.
All of our crew managers have taught us how not only to make a statement, but how to project it and experience it throughout the world while addressing the issues you want to address.
I naturally got like public speaking skills because my bosses, who are now my mentors, always like put us in those spaces where we had to like speak about what was important to us and like why it mattered and all these things.
We've developed this framework, the STEM Justice Framework, to have them really develop skills in science and technology and then implement those in their communities.
And it's really, really exciting that like we're making motions to be able to improve the lives of the people within our community.
If I didn't get the job when I was younger to get involved in the KYC, I don't know where I would be. So the KYC definitely has a big impact on me, and it saved me from the place that I come from. I'm a role model to younger women in my community, and I'm trying to rub off on them and show them what I did, what I accomplished, and help them accomplish the same things I've accomplished. So, yeah.
I think a future goal is to figure out how to leverage the 20-year history of this program and what we've learned about successful ways of really authentically engaging young people in science education, STEM education.
I think it's an incredible model for other museums, and I see this next phase of the work being sharing that model, and I know that's happening through STEM Justice, but I think that there are ways that you all work with young people that could translate to other museums, but also other programs. And so I just see it as this really great resource that is untapped at this point.
The thought of where we can go with the Kitty Anderson Youth Science Center and how we can make sure everyone knows science isn't everything, and how to draw out the science, call out the science in activities in daily life.
My hopes for work like this is that we'll be able to expand and improve upon that to be able to affect more people, not only just within our communities, but extending outside of that, outside of the cities here.
I want us to grow and become more nationally recognized.
I want to see you all as leaders of this institution. Number one, I want to see you all as leaders in my community. And I already see that happening, but I mean, I want to see you all as leaders in the city, in the state, in education, at the colleges, I want to see KOISC young people as leaders nationally, doing some amazing things.
Just as a general statement, I'm very, very excited for the future of the YSC.
Both on my own behalf and on behalf of the institution, the appreciation for the myriad supporters and partners. It was named the Kitty Anderson Youth Science Center because of the incredible generosity of all of the Anderson philanthropic entities. The other thing is I would talk to those who may not have supported the program until now and may be wondering if it's worthwhile, and I'm just going to tell you that it is.
On behalf of everyone at Anderson, I'm wishing the KAYSC youth a happy 20th anniversary.
Happy 20th anniversary, KAYSC. I'm so proud of you.
Happy anniversary, Kitty Anderson Youth Science Center.
Happy 20th anniversary, KAYSC.
Happy anniversary to the KYSC.
Happy anniversary to the Youth Science Center. Thank you so much.
Happy 20th anniversary, KYSC! Woo!
And here's to the next 20 years.